for the first time in forever, the show that aims to fill the gaps in all of your watch lists. On the last episode, we took a look at the seminal festive classic It's a Wonderful Life, and if you haven't watched that video, you can check it out by clicking the link in the description below. But to kick off for the first time in forever in 2021, I'm picking a film that has been requested over and over and over and over again by my good mate Louis RC. A film that could make us question our very existence itself. This is The Truman Show. Wait a second. I am going to be talking about spoilers for this film, so consider this your warning now.
Good morning!
Morning! Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah.
Morning, Truman.
Morning, Spencer. Hey, Pluto. Oh, no. Get down.
He won't hurt you.
Get down. Yeah, I know. It's just me.
Come on, Pluto.
The Truman Show. A fictional television series documenting every waking moment of a man's life in a purpose-built community that shapes reality so that Truman himself is unaware of the truth behind it all. Truman, played by Jim Carrey, has lived his entire life within this simulation under the control of Ed Harris's Christoph. However, when a studio light falls from the sky in front of Truman, it sets off a sequence of dominoes that gradually reveal the ongoing deception Truman has suffered. I have to say, it's a fantastic concept. Peter Weir clearly approached this film with a keen eye and also covers a whole spectrum of commentary angles too. For starters, the whole notion of reality TV shows. We tend not to really notice it all that much now that we have reality shows everywhere. From Chelsea...
You can! You can do it, you can!
To Essex...
You say that one more time, I'll rip that cheap wig off your head.
To New Jersey.
You whole car! Get the away from me! I brought my
Heck, I'm sure the Real Housewives of Pyongyang will be coming soon. But rarely do we ever ask ourselves the question of why we find it so fascinating. What is it about watching other people simply live their lives? For many, it's the insight into seeing how the other half live, with many focal points on the shows turning their attention to spats and ridiculous stories featuring posh toffs or catfighting Karens. For others, it's that blurred line of reality. Let's face it, 99% of these shows are scripted. Sure, there may not be predetermined dialogue as such, but the scenarios are all deliberately constructed. But just over 20 years ago, before reality TV really blew up to the point where it is today, we had The Truman Show. A film that took that concept to the next level by constructing this entirely fake world for one man to live in unknowingly. And as Weir so accurately depicts, it was a worldwide phenomenon as viewers are captivated simply by a man just living his life. Much of this success has to do with the screenplay written by Andrew Niccol. The constant ingenuity to keep the format and premise continually inventive and original, as well as subtly exposing flaws within media, was expertly executed. For example, it's the never-ending torrent of product placements that surround Truman's world. Initially, as Truman is hounded by the twins at the beginning of the film, it's not directly noticeable. But as character after character begin to come out with the most corporate lines to promote coffee or veg peelers, yes, the initial effect is one of comedy. But at the same time, Weir is directly commenting on the commercialization of the media, a fact that has only expanded by today's standards. And then we come across the final central theme that I discovered when watching The Truman Show: control. For 30 years of his life, Truman has never once been in control, and it's really only in the final moments of the film where he defies his creator and assumes control of his life. Up until that point, Christoph ensured that this world he had concocted would behave according to plan. Actors would deliberately divert Truman off a course that went against the plan, instilling a sense of fear to stop Truman wanting to travel in case it went against the plan. taking away a woman who showed genuine compassion and care for Truman, wanting him to escape this simulation with her, again, you guessed it, because it went against the plan. It provides a very powerful message that no matter what, the only person who is in control of your own life is you. Now, looking at the film just in terms of execution, it's practically faultless. Jim Carrey gives the best performance of his career. He's not his usual wacky self and brought to life a deeply layered character going through an inexplicably profound crisis. Ed Harris is solid as Christoph, who, let's face it, is a full-blown sociopath and easily one of the most sadistic movie villains of all time. Other supporting players such as Laura Linney and Noah Emmerich give very complex performances as actors who are having to maintain character no matter what, even if it does seem that Truman is getting close to the truth. There's plenty of good-natured humour sprinkled in too that is only bolstered by Carey's exceptional comedic skills. I'd say for me, the highlight is the sequence where Truman begins to notice that something is definitely wrong as he traipses all over town doing these bizarre things to gauge a reaction. Perhaps my only complaint, and this is more of a nitpick if anything, is that I would have preferred for Ed Harris's scenes as Christoph and that little behind the scenes peek as to how the Truman Show is basically run and created. I would have preferred that to be kind of added in throughout the first half of the movie as well, instead of occupying a huge chunk of the second act, because I did feel that it took away from our investment to Truman's story. Also, and I understand that a lot of the ending is left open to interpretation, but after hearing as well that Jim Carrey isn't actually opposed to the idea of a sequel.
But now everybody has a subscriber channel, and everybody has their own little Truman Show world, so there's something to be had there.
I don't know, I would be intrigued to see how Truman would react to the real world. Jim Carrey is the best he's ever been. It's entertaining from start to finish, it's incredibly well written and directed, and also has this ingenious satirical edge to it too. So, after watching The Truman Show for the first time in forever, I can safely say that it is God tier. Anyway guys, those are my thoughts on that film. Let me know, have you seen The Truman Show and what did you think of it? And as always, here is a little teaser for what you can expect for next week's episode. Hello, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to click that like button, and if you aren't already, click that subscribe button too.